Hi, boys and girls. Today we are in Saxon Book 4, Lesson 22. We've got two skills today. We'll be naming fractions and we'll be adding dollars and cents. So, the first thing I'll need you to do is get out your math dictionary. It's been a while since we've added anything to it, and we have two new words today. The first new word is called the numerator. The numerator is the top number in a fraction. What the numerator does is it talks about how many pieces we are talking about in the fraction. Okay? Our next word is denominator, and the denominator is the bottom number in a fraction, which refers to how many pieces form a whole. I have an example here. We have 1/2 with 1 being the numerator and 2 being the denominator. I'm going to step out of the way here, pause your video right now, get these definitions written down in your math dictionary, and when you're ready to move on, hit play and we'll talk about our first example. Okay, for this first example, let me bring you a little bit closer so that you can see those fractions there. We have 8 fractions that we're going to put in order from smallest to largest, and we're going to use the picture here to help us do that, okay? So, looking at these circles, they should all be the same size. They're not. I apologize. That's my drawing not being perfect. And I needed to make a bigger circle to divide it into 10 pieces for this one. So, but looking at it, which one do you think has the least amount colored in? If you said 1/10, you would be correct. That's going to be our smallest fraction. Okay, this one's used. I'll check it off. So now, looking at the rest of them, what's the next smallest piece that's colored in? I would say it's somewhere over here because these are looking pretty blue. So what do you think? If you said 1/4, once again, you would be correct. 1/4 is the next smallest fraction. So now looking at the next one, we've got 1/3. And then 1/2 is pretty close to 1/3 there, huh? 1/2. Then we have 2/3 and 3/5. Which one of those? They look just about equal, don't they? Let's look at this a different way. What if I draw a rectangle and then I can really make sure that I've drawn them the same size? And so I'm going to look at 2/3 and 3/5. So I really want to try to make my pieces the same. So this would be 2/3. Okay, and then we'll do 3/5. Again, really trying hard to make my pieces equal. So 1, 2, 3. Man, that's still really, really close. What could I do here? What if I turned them all into some other number? What if I divided this one in thirds that way and counted how many pieces were colored in? Here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have 9 pieces colored in out of 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 pieces total. Okay, and then what if I break this one into 5 pieces this way? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I have 5, I have 10 pieces colored in out of 5, 10, 15 pieces total. So which one's bigger? this one by just the teeniest bit, by 1/15. This one is bigger. So we want the smallest one first. So we're going to put 3/5 here. This is not a skill that you need to be able to do independently yet. By the end of the year, you will be using that. Okay, so we have 3/5. Then we have 2/3. And now we're going to look at 5/6 and 7/8. Well, one way to tell which of these is bigger is by looking at the white piece and saying which white piece is smaller. This white piece looks smaller, which means this fraction is bigger. If it has less white, it means it has more blue. So that makes 5/6 smaller than 7/8. And now we've put them in order. Okay? Our next example wants to know what fraction of the circle is shaded. So we'll get rid of this so that we have a little bit more space here. And here's my circle. And then I'm going to color in this much. So the first one is, what fraction of this circle is shaded? Well, remember my top number, my numerator, is what pieces are we talking about? In this case, the shaded pieces. So there's 1, 2, 3 shaded pieces. My denominator is how many pieces make the whole circle. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. So 3/4 of this circle is shaded. What if we flipped it and said what fraction of the circle is not shaded? Well, now we're not talking about the shaded pieces anymore. We're talking about the unshaded piece. So now my numerator is going to be 1. How many pieces make a whole? Still 4. So 1/4 of this circle is not shaded. Okay. The reason they put money, adding dollars and cents together with the fraction lesson is because we compare coins to dollars and say, what fraction is this coin of the whole dollar? So the first question is, what fraction of a dollar is a dime? I wrote a 10 in there, but we'll write this is a dime. So if I have 1 dime, that's my numerator. I'm talking about 1 piece, 1 dime. My denominator is how many pieces, how many equal pieces does it take to make the whole? Well, how many dimes do I need to have a whole dollar? 10. We need 10 dimes to make a whole dollar. So a dime is equal to 1/10 of a dollar. Okay, the next one says 3/4 are what fraction of a dollar? So I have 3 of them. That's my numerator. How many pieces am I talking about? I'm talking about 3/4. And then my denominator is how many quarters does it take to make a dollar? Think about that. It takes 4 quarters to make a dollar. So 3/4 is going to be 3/4 of a dollar. All right, our next example says, at the school book fair, Sioran bought 2 books, one for $3.75, and one for $2.75. The question says, how much did Saorin pay for both books? So this is the first time you are being asked to add numbers that have decimals. There is almost no difference in adding these two numbers as if then there is if you were adding $375 and $275. So the only difference is we have this decimal point, and when we write our number, one right on top of the other, we have to make sure we line up the decimal points. So I start by putting my decimal point there first. And then I say, okay, what comes before the decimal point? In this case, it's a 2. What comes after the decimal point? In this case, it's 75. And then I can add them together. So 5 plus 5 gives me 10. 7 plus 7 gives me 14. Plus 1 is 15. 3 plus 2 is 5. Plus 1 is 6. And now here's the real trick. Once you have your numbers, you have a decimal point here, a decimal point here. Make sure that you also have a decimal point lined up in your answer. So she spent $6.50 on her books. And our final example for today is, for her garden, Imelda purchased some packets of vegetable seeds for $3.27. And she got some tomato seeds for $4.49. What is a reasonable estimate for the total cost of her purchase? So now we're talking about estimating money, and estimating money is slightly different from estimating whole numbers. We can round to the nearest dollar, but that is not typically what your book does, and I just checked, it's not what your book does here either. Typically, Saxon Math wants us to estimate to the nearest quarter. So if we think about quarters, 1 quarter is 25 cents, 2 quarters is 50 cents, 3 quarters is 75 cents, and 4 quarters is the dollar, okay? So we're gonna look at 327 here and say, well, what quarter is that closest to? 27 is only 2 more than 25. So it's going to be closer to 25 cents than it is to 50. So this, we're going to round to $3.25. Then we look here, 49. What quarter is that really close to? The 50. So we round this one to $4.50. Then let me get rid of this so it's not confusing. So we've rounded both our numbers, and then we're going to add them together. Well, I know 1 quarter plus 2 quarters. That gives me 3 quarters. So that's 75 cents. I don't even have to add. And then 3 plus 4 is 7. So she is going to spend about $7.75 on her seeds. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before you do your written practice today, I would like for you to practice with the lesson practice problems. You can find those on page 137. The answers are in your Saxon Grader right before the written practice answers, so you can try them, check your answers, see how you do, and let me know if you have any trouble with this lesson so that I can review it again when I see you for live lessons, okay? Once you do your lesson practice, you'll be working on your written practice problems, which also begin on page 137. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon, and I will see you soon.